I returned earlier this week from Northern Illinois, where we celebrated the life of my sister, Janie Reed. I was so impressed with the service. I learned things about her that I didn't know, and I especially learned how she filled the dash of her life. I want to talk to you about it in your morning cup of inspiration. Do you remember a few years ago there was a poem called The Dash? And it talks about how we have the beginning date and the end date on a tombstone, and then there's the dash between those two dates. And that dash is everything. On the screen of the church had my sister's picture, Janie Reed, and it had October 27th, 1950, dash October 19th, 2021. She passed into heaven just 8 days short of her 71st birthday. But there were great stories shared. One lady was from Germany, and she was so impressed with my sister. My sister helped her find Christ and help her grow in Christ, and she asked Mary Jane if she would go with her all the way over to Germany and lead the rest of her family to the Lord. And my sister didn't like international travel, but she went. She was faithful. She answered the call, and she led every member of that lady's family to the Lord. Another story was of a woman who was watering who saw Janie watering plants, and she pulled into her driveway. She was going through a difficult time in her life, and she got out of the car and she was crying. And Mary Jane instantly dropped her plants and her garden hose and ran and embraced this lady and spent a good portion of the afternoon ministering to her and praying with her. So what are you doing with the dash? Are you filling it with God's love? Are you filling it with God's work? Are you reaching out? Are you helping others? My sister did, and she was an inspiration to me. And her race is finished now, but we are still in that dash. So think about that every day. I want to read a couple verses from Proverbs that really describe my sister Mary Jane. Chapter 31, verse 25 says, "Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up, call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her." That's what we all did earlier this past weekend. And then in James 4, verse 14, it says, "Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow, for what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth a little time, and then vanisheth away." It's going to be like that, and we will all be in heaven. We'll be joining Janie. We'll be joining all our loved ones who have gone on before us. So what are you doing? Boy, don't waste any time. Make sure you're filling the dash with what God would want you to do, with telling others and showing others His love. That's what my sister Mary Jane did, and I couldn't be more proud to be her brother. God bless you, and I'll see you soon for another morning cup of inspiration.